Hi, and welcome to a new chapter of Getting Started with Branding. In this chapter, we will cover four things, that is, what is branding, the need of branding, designing your brand identity, and how it is different from the brand image, and choosing taglines, colors, and typography for your brand. So let's start with the definition of branding and what it actually is. So if we go by the definition, branding is practice of creating a name, symbol, design, or value that identifies and differentiates a product from other products. So if you look at the slide here, you will see three different logos representing three different brands, though they represent the same alphabet H of English. So the first one represents Hyundai and the second one represents Honda, and there could be sense of pride associated by owning the Hyundai car for the people who are from Korea, or maybe Honda when it comes to Japan. And I have met people who care for such things in past. Now when we talk about the third symbol here, it represents luxury, and of course it represents Mercedes. So you need to understand that even the small element of your brand can give people the taste of the experience that they might have had from the past from your particular brand. So everything from your logos to your symbols to your designs, they need to be created so that they can impact the mind of your users. So if we move to the next slide, we will understand what is the need of marketing for the corporates. So if we talk about branding, there are three different needs, starting with the first is the navigation. Now we will take an example of the chip brand Lay's here and try to understand the difference with a very simple example. So what I've done, I've deliberately hidden the names of the different chips so that they are not at all recognizable. Now if I ask you which chip will you pick out of these four, what will be your answer? Of course you will pick the one that is your favorite, right? Now how it helps when you walk into a superstore or when you walk into a general store and you want to pick your favorite bag, and if the color coding was not there, what you had to do? You had to pick every chip bag and you have to read for the flavor it holds. But with this color grading, what they have done, they have changed the whole experience and made the navigation for you easier so that you reach out to the right slot at the right time and just pick it up, as easy as that. Now the next point where it helps is reassurance. All yellow bags of chips or all blue bags or all red bags are not the same, right? So why brands also write the names of the flavors, or why brands also add their branding onto the top, is so that once you're picking up a packet, you can see the difference between the two easily. And the third thing that creates the need of branding is engagement. Now what you see on all these chip bags is Leo Messi. Now what it does, it immediately takes your mind to the TV commercial that you might have seen last time around with Leo Messi in it, and with that particular image, brand can engage you for that experience that you have already had, creating a better impact in your mind to make a decision. So that's why it's very important for people to use, or companies to become a brand, or at least think about it when they are growing. So now we will talk about how to develop or design the brand identity and why it is important for brands. So when it comes to brand identity, as per the definition, a company's brand identity is how that business wants to be perceived by its consumer. So the component of brand that are created by the businesses and its appeal to the customers is what brand identity actually is. So now when we talk about brand identity, it is generally confused by the term brand image. You need to understand that brand identity and brand image are different. Brand identity on one end is the image that company wants to build in the eyes of consumers. So it's an approach from the company's end. So when it comes to brand image is something that customers perceive out of the brand or out of its products or out of its services, right? So the customer's point of view is known as brand image, whereas the company's point of view is known as brand identity. So when we talk about brand identity, there are 3-4 major things that we need to take care of, starting with logo, taglines, the aesthetic style, and the language, right? But when we talk about the brand image, it talks about things like reputation, emotion, belief, and the impression that brand has created in the eyes of a consumer. So let's take example of Tata Motors here. Tata Motors initially started off by creating heavy vehicles like trucks and cars, but today they have launched the smallest car of India too, as well as they have gone into the luxury segment where they have purchased Jaguar from General Motors and as well as Range Rovers. Now you need to understand this, that Tata is trying to create a different identity for the different segments, right? So whether it's a luxury, whether it's a small segment cars, whether it's a heavy vehicle. So what they're trying to do is to become a brand that caters entire segments from small to big. But what about you? Think yourself. What is the first image that comes into your mind when you think of Tata, right? So if you drive trucks, you will, or I would say the personal trucks, so maybe you will remember the cars like Tata Safari, right? If you're driving the commercial vehicle, then you might think of Tata 407, right? But if you're using a family car, then you might be thinking of Tata Indica, Tata Manza, Tata Nano. So the perception from your end is known as brand image, whereas what Tata wants you to see is known as brand identity. So I think so that with this example, you're pretty clear with the difference between a brand image and brand identity.